Hare Krishna. Amarendra Prabhuji is already here. We have been hearing from him yesterday about the pastime of Vatsasura, and he has painted a beautiful picture of how Krishna and Balram have gone not too far away, not too close to their home, and that is where they are playing. And we want to actually hear now further. So without any further delay, I'll pass it on to Amarendra Prabhu. But before that, let's welcome him with a loud Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह कलौ नष्टदृशामेतस्पुराणर्काधुनोदितः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So thank you everyone for kindly coming back and participating in this ongoing discussion. Very grateful to our Ambarish Maharaj Prabhu and Ananga Manjari Mataji for kindly engaging me in this service. I feel very happy to start my day with Srimad Bhagavatam. It's actually getting really exciting for me. I think yesterday I was feeling that even my attention in the chanting of the holy name after the class was also better than usual, because generally I feel sleepy. But after speaking for about 1 hour, I think my attention span was better while chanting after the class. So I really like this format, and thank you for kindly considering me for this service. My obeisances to all the wonderful speakers who have spoken before me, and to the wonderful speakers who are going to speak after me. And my obeisances to each one of you for kindly participating. I hope all of you will offer your prayers and best wishes so that the right words come at the right time, in the right mood of service, in the right mood of glorification. May this give pleasure to the ears of the Supreme Lord. May this whole discussion bring us 1 inch closer to His lotus feet. And as His eternal servants, may our consciousness be cleansed by this endeavor. This is our only aim. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So let's get started. I think yesterday we covered up to verse 38. We will start off. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 11, entitled The Childhood Pastimes of Krishna. Text 39 onwards. We have some ground to cover, so I will be moving a little quicker today. And then, of course, at the end, we will take some questions. So, Prabhuji, would devotees have their Srimad Bhagavatam, or do we plan to screen share, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we will screen share again, Prabhu.
Okay. So this is text 39 and 40. So, Ambarish Maharaj Prabhu, would it be okay if I read the Sanskrit and if you can kindly read the English, since the mic is available with you? Would that be okay?
Okay, as you wish, Prabhu.
Sure. So text 39 and 40. Kvachit vadayato venum kshepanai kshipata kvachit क्वचित् पादै किङ्किणीभिः क्वचित् कृत्रिमगो वृषैः वृषायमाणो नर्दन्तौ युयुधाते परस्परम् अनुकृत्य ऋतैर्जन्तुं चेरतु प्राकृतौ यथा.
Sometimes Krishna and Balram would play on their flutes. Sometimes they would throw ropes and stones devised for getting fruits from the trees. Sometimes they would throw only stones, and sometimes their ankle bells tinkling. They would play football with fruits like bale and amalaki. Sometimes they would cover themselves with blankets and imitate cows and bulls and fight with one another, roaring loudly, and sometimes they would imitate the voices of the animals. In this way, they enjoyed sporting exactly like two ordinary human children.
So beautiful. In fact, this is historic here because Srimad Bhagavatam has descriptions of the different um, rasas, and well, the technical term would be rati. Rati means different relationships, and rasa means the taste that is enjoyed by the Supreme Lord and the devotees in that relationship. So, for example, Madhuri Rati, Vatsalya Rati, Sakhya Rati, Dasya Rati, ityadi, etc. So, here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first few chapters, we can see there's Dasya Rati described, where the demigods are offering prayers while Mother Devaki is holding Krishna in her heart. And as Krishna is appearing in this world, the demigods are welcoming as servants of the Supreme Lord. And then after Krishna appears, we can see that Vatsalyarati has been described, whether it is Mridubhakshan Leela, whether Mother Yashoda is rushing to the scene to take the dust out of Krishna's mouth out of concern, or whether she's running behind Krishna with a stick in her hand and then binds him to a wooden grinding motor. These are all pastimes of the Vatsalyarati or parental mood. And now here there is a transition in the description to Sakyarati. So Sakyarati continues, whether it's Aghasur pastime in the next chapter, Brahma Vimohan Leela in the chapter after that with Brahma Stuti, etc. Chapter 15 also, etc. And then slowly the descriptions with the gopis will start in Madhuri Rati. So Srimad Bhagavatam has chapters exclusively there for the description of these ratis, these relationships. So here, this is a very crucial historic point in the narration of Shukdev Goswami, because there is transition from Vatsalya to Sakyarati. This description has not come in before about what the friends do with each other, how they play, how they fight, how they are tinkling with their ankle bells. This description is there as Krishna and Balaram are crawling as babies and giving pleasure to Mother Rohini and Mother Yashoda. So their ankle bells tinkling at that time is a stimulant, is a uddipan for Vatsalyarati. But here the description of the same ankle bell tinkling is a uddipan or a stimulant for Sakyarati, for his friends. So let's see what are the different things that have been mentioned here. And another thing that comes to my mind is still now the description of Krishna and Balaram has been in past tense. But now the description has changed to present tense. Multiple reasons are apt here. The first thing is Shukdev Goswami is so absorbed in them. The descriptions of Krishna and Balaram Sakhya Leelas are so attractive and so absorbing for the heart of Shukdev Goswami that although it took place 5,000 years before his description, he's describing using the present tense. The word, he starts off by using the word vadayataha. Vadayati, vadayataha, vadayanti. These are the way, the declination or the way it declines, the words decline in present tense in Sanskrit. Another reason could be these pastimes are eternal pastimes in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, Krishna is constantly playing with his friends. So when he displays them in the material world, Shukdev Goswami uses the present tense because they are eternally happening in the spiritual world. And when they are performed here, the pastimes are eternal. Playing, throwing stones, dancing, singing, playing on the flute, running after one another, imitating the sounds of the animals, jumping like a frog, sound of a cuckoo, dancing like a peacock. These are eternal pastimes of Krishna with his friends. So when he performs them here, instead of using past tense, in case of, let's say, the name giving ceremony of Krishna, which happens in this world as a past historic event. Uh, in contrast to that, these pastimes happen eternally in the spiritual world. And therefore, Shukdev Goswami is using present tense. Or sometimes when things are very close to the past, then at that time also present tense is used. Some things that happened yesterday, for example. So instead of using past tense, I would say, he just comes here, keeps the book, and then goes out of the door. Although that would have happened, let's say, 3 days ago. But the way of speaking is we use the present tense for near past. So Shukdev Goswami feels Krishna was not that, far back out in the history. It was just in the recent past. So he's using the present tense. So many reasons are there, and the heart of the speaker, Srila Shukdev Goswami, is very wonderfully displayed and depicted. It's exhibited, let's say, through these words. Let's see what are the different things that are described. Kvachit. So kvachit means sometimes. So here place and time both are not defined. In the next verse you will see that the place is not the place is defined but the time is not defined. But here kvachit has come couple of times, more than couple of times. In the first line you can see, in the second line you can see kvachit at the end. In the third line you can see kvachit padaihi. In the fourth line you can see kvachit kritrima. So the word kvachit means as far as time and place is concerned, Shukdev Goswami is not giving any specific details. But as far as the details of the activity are concerned, he's pretty descriptive. He says sometimes what happens is vadayato venum. Venum means flute, and vadayataha is the dual case usage. Instead of saying the flute is played, or let's say is being played by one person, vadayato venum means two people, two persons in the masculine sense. Krishna and Balaram, the dual case has been used. Both are playing the flute. So the question could be, does Balaram also play the flute? The answer is yes. He does play the flute. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj was once explaining that Krishna and Balaram both play the flute. And Balaram is as unlimited as Krishna in quantity. But in quality, Krishna is a little better than Balaram. Very interesting. As far as the jiva is concerned with the Supreme Lord, as far as quality, they are one. But as quantity, one is infinite and one is infinitesimal. But as far as Krishna with Balaram is concerned, as far as quantity, they are both unlimited. But as far as quality is concerned, Krishna is a little better than Balaram. Please don't tell that to Balaram. He may not like it, but International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, Kvachit Vadayato Venum. Both of them play the flute. Vadayato. And they even have competitions in their playing of the flute. The interesting thing is, Shukdev Goswami starts off with the Venu Vadayati Leela, that they are, or Venu Vadan Leela, that they are playing the flute because the calves are busy grazing and eating. The main activity of Krishna and Balaram, the reason why they're going into the forest is to play the flute. Because when they play the flute in the house, they don't get the reverberations, they don't get the echo coming from the trees. But when they play that in the forest, then they can hear it from the trees and from the mountains and from the open space. So this is why they go out. This is the main thing. Venuvadan Leela, playing on the flute, is the main thing. And the calves, they graze on their own and the friends are busy playing with Krishna and Balaram. But Krishna and Balaram, main reason why they go is to play on the higher octaves and the higher notes, and they feel very happy when there's a reverberation of the flute sound. Then the next thing, so after Kvachit Vadayato Venum, Kshepanaihi Kshipata Kvachit. And sometimes they, with their rope, they throw onto they loop it up and they try to throw to get the attention of a fruit wrapped up between that loop and pull it down. It doesn't just have to be a rope, it could sometimes even be the gamcha that they have as a waistcloth. They will take it up and it's a long one. So to get something, it could be, and our acharyas in the commentary, they have written, sometimes it's the amalaki fruit and sometimes it's the bel or bilva fruit. The acharyas have even described that although it could be little bitter, Krishna finds it as amrita phalam, finds it as something that is very tasty and nectarian. So to offer avla is very auspicious, even according to the Shastra. The mention has been there even in Hari Bhakti Vilas to offer avla to Krishna. Kshepanai kshipatah kvachit. So throwing of the rope either at the tree to get a fruit or at a rock while climbing up a tree, while climbing up a mountain or a hill. They are all kshepanai kshipatah kvachit. And then kvachit padaihi kinkanibihi. And sometimes kinkini means ankle bells, and sometimes with ankle bells on their feet, they're ringing. So that could mean they are walking, it could mean they are running, it could mean they're jumping, it could mean they are dancing. And sometimes, as friends do, they can even play with their feet with another friend. It could be loving, gentle kicks, as friends do, or when someone's running, putting their leg in the middle so that they 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 topple over, and then they fall, and then Krishna and Balaram giggle. So by all of these activities, padaihi kinkinibihi, along with their dancing, their ankle bell also dances. And kvachid kritrima go vrishaihi, and sometimes they cover their bodies with a cloth. Kritrima go vrishaihi. Go vrishaihi means to become, go means cow and vrusha means bull. And kritrima, to become artificial. So kvachit, sometimes they cover their bodies with a cloth and they are walking on their hands and feet. So you can imagine Krishna and Balaram, little Krishna and Balaram, covered, their whole body is covered with a cloth. It could be their waist gamcha, the gamcha cloth, or it could just be a blanket. Our acharyas have described, Srila Sanatan Goswami has described this in his commentary. He uses the word in the English translation as blanket, kritrima. So they cover and they're seeing from under the blanket. And sometimes they go and sit next to an old man. The old man would probably, the old Brajbasi would probably be sitting and chanting, or he's all by himself, and they're there next to this old man. And suddenly they come out of the blanket and pooh! They try to scare the old man. So they are under the cloth, and with on their four legs, which is two legs and two hands, they are walking. So it seems as if only the cloth is moving while Krishna and Balaram are under the cloth. And what do they do while they're under the cloth? Vrushaya Mano Nardanto. While they're under the cloth, Nardanto. They make sounds there with the cloth. Oh, they make these sounds, Krishna and Balaram. So people are wondering, where's the sound coming from? We hear some calf or some cow sound, but where is it? But they're actually covered with a cloth, and they're laughing under the cloth. So not just that, yuyudhate parasparam. Yuyudhate means to fight. So they sometimes become, two bulls. Krishna is a bull and Balaram is a bull, and both of them are fighting. They make sounds. Their size is also like a bull, and with their nose, they keep making these sounds, and they're walking on their hands and legs. And not just that, they have very scary fights also. They're both, with their head, Krishna and Balaram under the cloth, making sounds, and with their head, they're trying to lock their horns and try to fight. And there comes a point when it's difficult for them to fight and also manage the cloth. So they throw the cloth away, and then both are fist fighting. Krishna and Balaram are on top of each other, and sometimes Krishna is on Balaram's chest, and sometimes Balaram is on Krishna's chest, and both of them are enjoying very wonderful, friendly pastimes, brotherly pastimes, and at the same time getting some chivalry, some veer-ras is being tasted. And then Shukdev Goswami says, Anukritya rutaihi jantums cheratuhu prakritau yatha. And Anukritya means to imitate. Kritya means activity. And Anu means later, behind. So which means if someone makes a sound or jumps in a certain way, sings in a certain way, dances in a certain way, then to imitate and repeat that after them is called Anukritya. So they would imitate. What would they imitate? Our acharyas describe they imitate the singing of the cuckoo bird. Hmm? When the cuckoo bird is cooing, if there's a word like that, then Krishna also starts cooing. In fact, there's a whole forest in Vrindavan called Kokilavan, where Krishna becomes a kokil pakshi and sounds very wonderfully to get the attention of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna can make very beautiful sounds. The cuckoo or the koil bird has a kokila pakshi has a very beautiful, sweet sounding voice. And when Krishna makes the sound, then all the kokila pakshi, they become quiet. They tell Krishna that this is the only service we can do. But if you also start singing, then we are completely quiet listening to your sound, and then we are not able to serve. In happiness, they say this, of course. So Krishna is singing better than the kokila pakshi, and he jumps like a frog and runs behind the shadow of a flying bird. And sometimes Krishna is dancing like a peacock at More Kutir. And at the same time, sometimes Krishna is shouting into a well some swear words. And when the well echoes those words back, then Krishna tells Balaram, "Oh, Baladev Prabhu, look what the well is saying. He's speaking all these bad language." So Balaram comes to Krishna and he says that you can never have a clap with one hand. You need two hands. So if what's coming out of the well is a pratidhwani, if it's a echo, so then there must be a source to it, and that's you. You are shouting inside, and that's why it's coming out. And Krishna is very embarrassed, and he starts laughing. And so anukritya. Sometimes Krishna jumps into the water. Krishna and Balaram. Sometimes they jump into the water and they start swimming gracefully like a swan. They start moving their back of their body like as if it's a tail, and they keep their head upraised. And sometimes Krishna and Balaram go in front of monkeys and they make funny faces. They stick their tongue out and they roll their eyes and they start making monkey sounds and they jump like a monkey and entertain the monkeys. So anukritya rutahi jantum, plural has been used, jantun, which means all the animals in Vrindavan were entertained by the imitation of Krishna and Balaram. But the question remains, who is the original and who is imitating? Is it that the animals are actually the original and Krishna and Balaram are imitating after them? Or is it that Krishna and Balaram are the original and the animals are imitating? And the answer given by Shukdev Goswami is Prakritau Yatha, as if they were ordinary boys. If they were ordinary boys, then the sound of the birds is the first sound, and then they are imitating. But, however, in this case, Krishna and Balaram are not Prakrit. They are aprakrit. Prakrit means material, aprakrita means spiritual. They are spiritual beings. They are the source of all sounds. Krishna and Balaram are the ones who fit the sound of the kokila pakshi in the throat of a kokila pakshi. Krishna and Balaram are the source who have fit in the dancing proclivity, the dancing ability in a peacock. Krishna and Balaram are the ones who have fit the restless, agitating, and provoked jumping nature of a monkey. Krishna and Balaram are the one who have fit the graceful moving around and swimming in the water like a swan. So therefore, the animals are doing according to the original source, which is Krishna and Balaram. So anukritya, who is imitating? The animals are imitating the sounds of Krishna and Balaram, who are the source, because Krishna and Balaram are not prakrit. They are not material. Some mother could feel, well, even my child plays on the flute, even my child plays with a rope, even my child with ankle bells and waist bells, even my child used to do all these things. So what's the difference between Krishna and my child? My child also ate dirt, but the difference is your child is prakrit, but Krishna and Balaram are not. Shukdev Goswami, therefore, is very careful. After saying all this so that there is no belittling of Krishna's position, he says prakritau yatha. And again, prakritau has been used for the dual sense that both Krishna and Balaram are not ordinary. They are actually the Supreme Lord themselves. So when Krishna comes and performs these activities, he's actually showering mercy on everyone on the residents of Mother Earth, that they're able to see the Supreme Lord perform such spontaneous, loving activities. One time, there was one man who came to meet Michael Faraday, who was a very great scientist. And this visitor, he wanted to have a discussion with Michael Faraday, the inventor of electricity. So then he happened to see a gardener outside the house of Michael Faraday. So he asked the gardener, "So what time will Michael come?" He said, "He comes at around 11 o'clock." I said, "Where does he meet guests?" So the gardener pointed out at a, as a meeting room. This is where Michael Faraday meets all his guests. So then this person was waiting. Then he was shocked. It was the same gardener who pulled up his sleeves and came and sat as Michael Faraday. So he said, "Wait a minute, I thought you're the gardener." So the gardener said, "Yes, I'm only Michael Faraday. I take care of the plants in my front yard and backyard. So you probably thought I was the gardener. I am the gardener, but I'm more than just a gardener. I'm also the scientist." So then the person was shocked that he who appeared looked to be just like an ordinary gardener is actually much more than just a gardener. He is the scientist. So similarly, those Krishna and Balaram who are performing such sweet, spontaneous, loving, affectionate, interactive, reciprocative pastimes with their friends, they are actually more than just playful, restless children. They are the Supreme Lord. It has been described in the Prayo Bhakti Rasarnava that Krishna and Balaram are Jaladhara Shashivarnau Gopaveshau Kishoro Sahacharagana Vrindai Kridamano Vrajeshau Natavarajitaveshau Nila Pitambaradhyo Jagata Janana Heto Ramakrishnau Natosmi. The term used is Jagata Janana Heto Ramakrishnau Natosmi. Krishna and Balaram are the cause and the source of the whole creation. And they are also performing such sweet, wonderful pastimes. They are sometimes taking leaves from the trees and rolling them and making flute. And when the air or the breeze moves between those leaves, it creates a rustling sound as if they were holes on the flute. And sometimes they're laughing and sometimes cutting jokes on each other, sometimes crying and taking some offense when someone said it. Sometimes they're fighting, sometimes they're playing. Sometimes they're carrying each other. Sometimes they're garlanding each other, decorating each other. Sometimes even carrying peacock plumes on the head. And crooked movements. Their glancing are crooked. Their laughing is crooked. Their walking is crooked. They're making fun of how the friend eats. They're making fun of how the friend talks. And sometimes they act as if they're unconscious and they jump and rise like a tree and and scare everyone around. So all these beautiful pastimes have been described. Let's see what happens next. 41. Kadachit yamuna tire वत्सांश्चारयतो स्वकैः वयस्यै कृष्णबलयोर्जिघांसु दैत्य आगमत्.
One day, while Rama and Krishna, along with their playmates, were tending the cows on the bank of the river Yamuna, another demon arrived there, desiring to kill them.
So the introduction of Vatsasur has been given here as the word Daitya Agamat, that there was a Daitya who came. Now past tense has been used here again, Agamat, because demons don't exist in the spiritual world. So it is not an eternal pastime to face the demons. So when the demons come in Vrindavan, the past tense is used. But when they are performing pastimes in Sakhya Leela, in friendship mood, which is eternally found, then the present tense is used. So such beautiful, wonderful, um, alternating, jaw-dropping presentation by Shukadev Goswami. He alternates between present tense and past tense, depending on the truth of the matter. So here he says Kadachit. Again, no description of time, but place is described Yamuna Tire. Our acharyas describe there is a reason why Yamuna Tir has been used here. Reason one, because Yamuna, the banks of Yamuna, is the place where all the calves can go to drink water. So it's life for them. Because the calves will be tired after grazing and walking around under the sun, finding fresh grass. And after eating all of that, they need to drink some water also. So Kadachit, Krishna one day, he took all of them Yamuna Tire, on the banks of the Yamuna. But at the same time, Yamuna is also Yamanuja. She is also the younger daughter of Yamaraj, as we were describing yesterday. So Krishna went on the banks of the Yamuna for two purposes. One, to give life to his calves in the form of water, and one, to take life away from Vatsasur. And to take life away, you have to go close to Yamaraj, or the sister of Yamaraj. So the divine position of Yamuna Devi is what is tapped in for the thirst of the calves. And the relation to Yamaraj is what is tapped in for benedicting Vatsasur with liberation. Through, so this has been described by our acharyas also. Also, Vatsams, plural has been used. All the calves were taken charayato. They were being tended by Krishna and Balaram, and the words used are Krishna Balayoho. Previously, the word used is Rama Madhavayoho. Rama means pleasure. So when Uttama Priti was the context, there was high level of joy, and that time the word used is Rama, because the word Rama means pleasure. But now the demon is coming in, and Balaram is not in a mood of being happy, but he's in the mood of displaying his strength. So instead of using the word Rama, the word Bala has been used, which means strength. So in the third line, Krishna Balayoho. Krishna and Balaram, both. And apart from the calves, Krishna and Balaram are with whom? Swakaihi Vayasyaihi Balakaihi. Balakaihi, we are adding here for the context. Swakaihi means their own. Vayasyaihi means same age. Vay. Even in Marathi, in Hindi also they say Vay. So Swakaihi Vayasyaihi, two adjectives have been used. So Krishna is taking all the calves after they have been grazing for some time on the banks of the Yamuna to give them water, and at the same time to benedict Vatsasur with the mercy of the brother of Yamuna, which is Yamaraj. And Krishna and Balaram go there not just with the calves, but Swakaihi Vayasyaihi Saha Balakaihi Saha, with Swakaihi, their own, his own. The word Swa indicates his own. अपने मित्रों के साथ. मित्र कैसे थे, and how were the friends? Vayasyaihi. They were not way older than Krishna, and they were not younger. Vayasyaihi. They were of the same age as Krishna and Balaram. So Srila Sanatan Goswami in his Brihad Vaishnav Toshini has written that the word Swakaihi has been used here for Ati Priya Mamataspad Bhava. Ati Priya Mamataspad Bhava, which means Shukdev Goswami is saying how dear the friends are to Krishna. Ati Priya Mamataspada. Mamataspada means possessive. And Ati Priya means greatly affectionate, attached, absorbed, attracted, dear. Ati Priya. Priya means dear. Ati Priya, very dear. Ati Priya Mamataspada, with possessiveness. The description has been given. Why? Because the Daitya, Vatsasur, is going to come between Krishna and his Swakaihi Vayasyaihi Balakaihi. Between Krishna and his friends with whom they have been playing so lovingly till now. All the friends who are Ati Priya Mamataspad Bhava Purna, they are filled with unparalleled, unprecedented possessiveness for Krishna. And likewise, Krishna has great attachment for his friends. The friends have great attachment for Krishna. Mora putra, mora sakha, mora pranapati, ei bhave jai more kare shuddha bhakti. Apana ke bada mane ama shamahin, ei bhave ami hoy tahara adhin. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it has been described that Krishna is saying that mora sakha, if someone calls me as their friend, or mora putra, someone calls me as their son, or mora pranapati, someone worships me as their eternal master, as a husband in conjugal mood. Ei bhave jai more kare shuddha bhakti. In this mood, anyone who loves me and serves me, and apanaka bado mane, they consider themselves to be better than me. And ama shamahin, the friends think that Krishna is equal to them, and Mother Yashoda thinks Krishna is lower to her. What will he protect me? If I don't maintain him, I don't protect him, then he will go hungry. Ei bhave jay more kare shuddha bhakti. Apana ko bada mane ama shamahin. Ei bhave ami hoy tahar adhin. Krishna is saying that those who have this mood of spontaneous affection for me, I become subordinate to their affection. So this is all indicated by the word swakaihi. The friends have so much affection. And between Krishna Balaram and their Swakaihi Vayasyaihi Balakaihi of the same age, of such possessiveness, with whom they have been running, with whom they have been jumping, they have been picking fruits, with whom they have been playing flute, with whom they have been ringing their ankle bell, with whom they have been fighting under the blanket, with whom they have been decorating and dressing and mocking and laughing and crying and singing and dancing. With those friends, between Krishna and those friends, Daitya Agamat, a demon came. And why did he come? Did he come to do arati of Krishna? No, Jigamsuhu. He came to kill Krishna. He came to kill Krishna. Why the word Daitya has been used here? Sometimes it's really interesting. In Vrindavan, not all the time demons come as demons. Sometimes even demigods come and act like demons. So Daitya means sons of Diti. And demigods are called Adityas because they are the sons of Aditi. Diti and Aditi are sisters. So, like for example, Brahmaji, he stole the calves. So he was a demigod, but his action was demoniac from Krishna's perspective. Same goes with Indra, lord of the demigods, but he attempted to kill all the Vrajvasis. So what Vatsasura is trying here, Vatsasura is only trying to kill Krishna, but Indra during the Govardhan Leela attempted to kill the whole of Vrindavan. So sometimes even demigods act as demon. So at that time, Shukdev Goswami doesn't say Daitya Agamat, because they are actually demigods, but their activity doesn't seem to be divine. They are temporarily covered by the, the pastime potency to teach all of us a lesson. Mahaprabhur Bhakta Gana, it has been described in Bhakti Ratnakar that only to teach the world shiksha kore, only to teach different lessons to the world, Mahaprabhu's associates, they or Krishna's associates, they take on negative roles. Jay and Vijay become Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, and sometimes the demigods like Indra and Brahma, they also come as demoniac forces in Vrindavan. But in this case, it's not a demigod who's coming; it is a daitya. It's a demon who's appearing demoniac. We will see what happens next. Text 42. Tam वत्सरूपिणं वीक्ष्य वत्सयूथगतं हरिः दर्शयन् बलदेवाय शनैर्मुग्ध इवासदत्.
When the Supreme Personality of Godhead saw that the demon had assumed the form of a calf and entered among the groups of other calves, he pointed out to Baladev, "Here is another demon." Then he very slowly approached the demon as if he did not understand the demon's intentions.
So this Daitya who's coming in, his description has been given. Tam Vatsa Rupinam. He came in what form? He came in the form of a calf. And our acharyas have analyzed very wonderfully why he came in this form. So his analysis, Vatsasur's analysis was when Kamsa told him to go to Vrindavan to kill Krishna, even to frame this sentence that I just said, it doesn't go down the throat in the Vaishnav community. Attempting to harm Krishna, let's put it like that. So when Kamsa was discussing with Vatsa, what form are you going to take? So then Vatsasur, of course, he gets his name Vatsasur in the form of Vatsa. Vatsa means a calf. And Asura means demon. So he who's not a Sura is a Asura. So Vatsasur, at that time, he mentioned that Krishna loves his calves. When you want to get into somebody's heart, you ask the question, what does the person like? What does he like to eat? What does he like to wear? What kind of toys does he like to play with? How does he look? So on doing research, he understood that the best thing that Krishna likes are calves. So he said, if I have to get close to Krishna, I have to be a very chubby, very attractive, very innocent calf. Then Krishna will accept me. So that's his favorite animal. At the same time, there are millions and millions of calves. So if one calf gets into that, it's very easy. I can transcendently hide my position and go close to Krishna. So if he doesn't spot me as one out of the million calves that he has, then I will go close to him and kill him. And if he spots me, then he cannot kill me because he's Gopala. His community is, it's Gokula or Goloka. They believe in protection of Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam, in protection of the calves and the cows and the bulls. So if he doesn't spot me, then I will go close. And if he spots me, he will not kill me because I am in a cow body. And still, his favorite animal is a calf. So proximity wise, also it works great. So thinking of all this, Tam Vatsa Rupinam, he took the form of a calf. And at the same time, he was afraid. Yes, Krishna may not spot me. What if others spot me? So out of fear, he hid himself in the group, one out of millions and millions of calves. And at that time, where did he go and hide? Shukdev Goswami says, Vatsa Yutha Gatam. Vatsa means calf, Yutha means group, and Gatam means to go. So he went and hid himself, transcendentally, let's say, camouflaged himself in the group of the calves. But however, Harihi Vikshya Baladevaya Darshayan. Hari, Krishna saw. Vikshya. Ikshanam means to see. When the pratyay, the visheshan V has been added before, V means vishesha rupena in a very special way. So ikshanam means to see, to examine. But when vikshya word comes in, it means to see in a very special way, to analyze, to examine, or to see once but then catch attention and then closely observe. So harihi vikshya. When Vatsasur entered the group, nobody saw, but Harihi Vikshya, Krishna saw. And what did he do? Darshayan, Baladevaya. He pointed to Balaram. Look, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has mentioned that Krishna moved his eyebrow looking at Balaram. He looked at Balaram and he pointed at the calf. Like, look who's here. So two points of analysis here. The word Harihi and the word Darshayan, Baladevaya. So Srila Sanatan Goswami has explained in his commentary that Harihi, the word Harihi, he could have used the word Krishnaha. Vatsayuta Gatam Krishnaha. Perfect. Two-syllable word Krishna can be replaced by the word Harihi, or Hari can be replaced by Krishna. It's perfect. So what's the problem? Why say Harihi? Srila Sanatan Goswami says Dushtanam Pranahari, Shishtanam Manohari. He says the word Hari, he has two meanings. Dushtanam Pranahari. Harihi means to take away. In this context, Krishna is taking away two things. What is he taking? Dushtanam Pranahari. He takes away the life of wicked-minded people, demons. So here, very soon, he is going to take the life of Vatsasur. Therefore, he is called Harihi. Dushtana means demons. Pranahari iti, harati iti harihi. He who takes away the life of demoniac personalities by killing them, by liberating them is Harihi. But at the same time, by doing this, Shishtanam Manohari or Mana Harati iti. By doing this, he also steals the heart of his dear devotees. So here, he is going to kill Vatsasur and take his life away. But yet at the same time, by displaying this, exhibiting this, he is going to win the heart of his friends and take their hearts away. This is why, by these two reasons, Srila Sanatan Goswami has written that the word Harihi has been found in this verse. Srila Chakravarti Pad, he also says one more interesting thing, that there is one more meaning for the word Harihi. The word Harihi also means Vatsa Dukkha Hari iti Harihi. There is a history to this Vatsasur. Actually, Vatsasur in his previous life, it has been described in the Garga Samhita. He was a person by the name Pramila. He was son of a demon by the name Muru or Mura in some places. And he fought the demigods very bravely. And then after winning over them, he came to the ashram of Vasishtha Rishi. And there was a Nandini calf there, Kamadhenu calf. It fulfills all the desires. So he came to the ashram of Vasishtha Muni and he looked at this Nandini calf, this Pramila. and he desired to take this wish fulfilling calf. Kama dhenu, kama means desire, dhenu means calf or cow. That calf, by drinking whose milk, one will always be young. That calf, by the blessings of whom all the desires will be fulfilled, is called a wish fulfilling calf. Just like we have wish fulfilling tree, we have wish fulfilling calf. Even Vaishnavas are vancha kalpataru. The Vaishnav, pure Vaishnavas are considered to be the wish fulfilling desire trees in the life of a conditioned soul. So Pramila, when he went into the ashram of Vashishta Rishi, he saw this Kamadhenu calf, and by force he tried to steal her away. And how did he do that? He came in the form of a Brahmana, and he requested Vashishta Rishi for donation to give this calf. But when Vashishta Rishi could see that this is actually not a Brahmana, this is a demon, he refused. So this Brahmana by force tried to pull and drag the calf towards him. At that time, Nandini calf spoke, and she said to Vashishta Rishi that he's actually a demon and he's coming in the form and a disguise of a Brahmana just to steal me, to fulfill his material desires. Oh demon, I curse you. You are causing disturbance in the life of a calf. I curse you to become a calf, and you will remain a calf for 100,000 years. You will be like this for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years as a calf. So then immediately he became a calf. And he was crying at the feet of Vashishta Rishi that, what is this? I have been bound in the body of a calf. Now please help me. Vashishta Rishi had mercy and he said, no problem. You will become a calf, but you will get a chance to go to Vrindavan and see the Supreme Lord Sri Hari when he comes in this world and performs his pastimes. So till then, you be in the calf body. So from then on, he has been stuck in the body of a calf. And Vatsa Dukkha Hari iti Harihi. Because Krishna is going to kill Vatsasura and liberate him from the curse of being a calf and being stuck in that body, Krishna is going to liberate. Hari also means to take away. So for the demon, he is going to take away his life, yet at the same time, he is going to take away his suffering of being stuck in that body through a curse. But at the same time, he's going to take away the heart of the devotees through this entertainment pastime. So in this way, three reasons have been given for the word Harihi. First is Dushtanam Prana Hari iti Hari, Shishtanam Manohari iti Hari, and third is Vatsa Dukkha Hari iti Hari. One, he who takes away the life of the demoniac personalities. Second, he takes away the heart of the devotees by displaying such entertainment pastime. And third, he takes away the dukkha, the suffering in the life of Pramila, who was cursed to become a calf and stay in that form for a long time. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad has mentioned Darashayan Baladevaya. Krishna, by moving his eyebrows, he pointed towards the calf and asked Balaram Prabhu, do you recognize him? He's the same Pramila. Do you see his history? Do you remember him? Do you remember the things that he has done? And now look, it's the time for his liberation. That's one way of interpreting. That do you remember him from the past? He's the same Pramila who was cursed by the Nandini calf of Vashishta Rishi. Or the second way of moving the eyebrow, the second reason of moving the eyebrow, look at this demon. He thinks that he can become a calf and he can become one among our calves and we will not recognize. Or the third meaning is, this is very interesting. Whenever Krishna accepts anybody, he asks Sri Guru or the Guru Parampara that, do you all recognize this boy? Do you recognize this devotee? Do you recognize this conditioned soul? Has he impressed and stolen your heart through service? If yes, I will accept him. Right? So Baladev here or Balaram here represents Guru Tattva and Hari Krishna is God. So God is asking Gurudev when a soul is coming, trying to come close to him, that do you, by the movement of the eyebrows, Darashayan Baladevaya, do you recognize this conditioned soul? Do you think it's worthy of our time to get close to him and fulfill his desire? What do you think? So this is very interesting. And Balaram looks at the calf and he gives a thumbs up that I think you should liberate him. He's been here for a long time. So sometimes you see these dark, the tainted glasses, right? When you're in a car, The glasses are tainted in such a way that from outside you can look into a car. But those sitting inside the car, they can look out and they can see the cars and they can even see the contents in the other car. But outsiders, they can look into the car and see the members inside because the glass is sometimes dark tainted in a car. So when you see something like that, we should remember this pastime. Why? Because Vatsasura could not see the position of Krishna and Balaram. So he could not see through the dark tainted glasses of their personality. But however, Krishna and Balaram sitting inside the car of Vrajalila, through those glasses of their divinity, could see out. They could see what Vatsasur could not. They could see through Vatsasur's past lives. But Vatsasur could not see even through their present existence. So whenever we see that dark tainted glasses in any car, we should remember this, that Vatsayutagatam Harihi Darshayan Baladevaya. Krishna is asking Balaram with moving eyebrows that do you recognize him? And Baladev gives a thumbs up that yes, I recognize him from past life. So those sitting in the car of a tainted, dark tainted glass, they can see outside, but others cannot see inside. So Vatsasur could not see through Krishna and Balaram's personality. But however, Krishna Balaram sitting inside, they could see inside the car of Vrajalila, covered by the tainted glasses of Yogamaya. They could look through and see the past lives of Vatsa. And at the same time, Shanaihi Mugdha Iva Asadat, that he came very closely, close to Krishna. So please forgive me. Krishna came very closely to the demon. After Baladev Prabhu gave thumbs up, then Shanaihi Mugdha Iva. Mugdha means as if I don't know. Krishna works in two features according to our acharyas. One is Sarvajnaha. Sarvajna feature means he knows everything. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani tu bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. So that is the Sarvajna feature, where Krishna understands everything, he knows everything. But the next feature is called Mugdha feature. Mugdha feature means, oh, why is it thundering? Why is it lightning? Oh, Maya, I am scared. Oh, Maya, I am hungry. Oh, Maya, I am sleepy. So this feature of Krishna and Braja is called Mugdha. And the point where he knows what's happening, he knows everything, he knows all the intentions, is called Sarvajnaha. So outside Vrindavan, he is always Sarvajnaha. But inside Vrindavan, he's Sarvajna sometimes and Mugdha sometimes. So here, that Mugdha feature, although he's Sarvajna, after Darshayan Baladevaya, he knows. But Mugdha Iva, as if he didn't know. Shanaihi, slowly, Krishna went close to Ivasadat. He went close to the demon to fulfill the desires of the demon. So it is very, very interesting that even when someone has hypocrisy. Now, hypocrisy because he's something else inside, but he's acting to be something else outside. If you see Kaliya, he was what he was. He was a snake, and he was acting like a snake. So Krishna welcomes transparency more than hypocrisy. But here, Vatsa is killed because inside he's actually a demon. He's trying to kill Krishna, but externally he comes as an affectionate calf. So even if there is hypocrisy, if one approaches Vrindavan, approaches the residence of the Lord, which could be a temple, which could be a community, and Vatsa Yutagatam, and tries to hide in the congregation of Vaishnavas, even if one has hypocrisy. Now, this is beautiful, wonderful insight from this pastime coming from our acharyas, that even if we are like a Pramila demon, even if we have the stink of past life bad activities, even if we have the hypocrisy of inside being something but externally trying to look like a calf, if we run away from bad association of Kamsa in Mathura and somehow come into Vrindavan, which represents Krishna's residence, which could be a temple, etc., and Vatsa Gatam, if we try to become one amidst the other calves, which means we become one amidst the Vaishnavas, and we have a desire to get close to Krishna, whatever may be the hidden ulterior agenda, the initial let's say the initial impetus could be anything. But if the desire is to get close to Krishna, then very quickly, before we get close to Krishna, Darshayan Baladevaya, Krishna through Guru Parampara, through Gurudev, he himself, Shanaihi Mugdha Ivasadat, before the Vaishnava tries to approach Krishna, even if he has faults and stinks of anarthas and aparad from past life, even if he has hypocrisy, quarrel and hypocrisy are part of Kali Yuga. Not that he should systematically cultivate that, but it doesn't leave overnight. So what does he do? He still continues to serve in the association of devotees and tries to come close to Krishna and goes away from the Kamsa like bad association. If that is the case, then before the person tries to get close to Krishna, Shanaihi Mugdha Ivasadat, then Krishna himself comes close to the demon, the demoniac like personality. If we take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes a million steps towards us. So here it is not said that the demon took his step towards Krishna. He just took the step of coming close to Krishna in Vrindavan. But Shukdev Goswami doesn't say the demon went close to Krishna. He said, Shanaihi Mugdha Iva Asadat, that Krishna came close to the demon by when approved by Baladev. So I will pause here. I will not continue and describe the ghastly feature of the killing pastime. Let Vatsasur play his role and make Krishna take his time to taste Veerras. Because if we kill the demons so quickly, then what happens is that Krishna, who's bringing all these demons in to taste chivalry, it's gone in one verse. Let Krishna take his time and let him decide what he wants to do with Vatsasura. It's possible in history he killed Vatsasura in the pages of the Bhagavatam, but here maybe he may have compassion and he may just let him go. Possible. Let Krishna and Balaram decide, and why unnecessarily disturb their play. So let them just see this calf and decide what they have to do. But however, there are 5 things that we can take home from pastimes like this. And that will be the concluding thing. The first thing to mention, the first thing to mention is Krishna performs these pastimes for the entertainment of the Vrajvasis. Because in Vraja, there are no televisions, there are no Prakrit Manoranjak Karyakram, there is no materialistic display of dramas. So Krishna has to keep doing something or the other to entertain the Vrajvasis. So Vrajvasis get entertained when demons come into Vrindavan. There is no Dushtadaman Leela, there is no killing of demons in the spiritual world. But demons are killed when Krishna performs his pastimes in the material world. Why? This is to entertain the Vrajvasis. They have nice entertainment. And also, second, this also increases the appetite of Krishna and Balaram, because when they run around, play around, jump around, they don't feel as hungry as knocking the teeth of a demon. When a demon comes and for 30 minutes they're fighting, they become so tired and fatigued, and their hunger, their appetite goes so high, they can sit comfortably and now digest all the prasad that Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini have cooked. So first is to entertain the friends and the Vrajvasis. Second is to increase their appetite. The third reason they do this is to liberate those demons who have been stuck in so many forms because of past um, curses and sins. The fourth reason why they kill the demons is so that this increases the attachment of the friends on Krishna. Like, for example, if a child is playing in a room and the mother is in the kitchen, both are in their own place. The child is in the room playing with her toys, and the mother is in the kitchen cooking. But suddenly, let's say there's a honeybee which gets into the room of the child. Now the child gets scared that the bee may bite, so she leaves her toys and runs to the mother and hides behind the sari of the mother. So she always loves the mother, but however, when there is a bee that comes into the room, that increases the attachment that the child has for her mother. So similarly, these demons are like honeybees who come into the room of Vrindavan, where the Vrajvasi friends are busy with their toys, and Krishna is busy in the kitchen in his home of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba, in trying to map with the example. But when these honeybee like demons come in, the child leaves his or her toy and runs to the mother, which means all the friends, when they encounter these demons, they run to Krishna, they hug Krishna, they embrace Krishna, their love for Krishna. The pot of their heart, which is filled with the nectar of Krishna Prem, is boiled by the fire of these demoniac forces. I'll repeat, the pot of their hearts filled with the fluid of Krishna Prem, there is boiling at the base by the fire of these demoniac presence. And as a result, thak, 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 there's boiling of the bhav of the devotees in their attachment to Krishna. That's one more reason. Another reason why these pastimes are performed is so that these demoniac mentality, Vatsasur now represents show off, he represents hypocrisy, he represents avidya. There are so many things he represents. So Vatsasur may have been killed by Krishna 5,000 years ago, but that mentality is still alive in our heart. He's still alive in our heart. So this Krishna Katha is Krishna entering through our ear hole. शृण्वतां श्रद्धया नित्यं गृह्णतां च स्वचेष्टितं कालेन न अतिदीर्घेण भगवान् विशते हृदि प्रविश्य कर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति शमलं कृष्णसलिलस्य यथा शरत्. The 8th chapter of the second canto Bhagavatam describes that Krishna enters the ear hole through Krishna Katha, sits on the lotus of the heart of the listener, and cleans the heart of all the kalusha, all the kalmasha, all the anarthas and the aparads in the heart. So Vatsasur may have been delivered in Vrindavan, but that mentality is still there in our heart, where we are Pramila inside, but we always justify and act as if we are a calf. The calf in the Vatsasur Leela can represent so many um, um, so many different interpretations. Our acharyas have said that anarthas are always shown in this world as if they are innocent calves. One could have a sexual fall down. One could have, harsh speech and fighting mentality. One could even have greed for money and position. One could even have envious mentality towards others in the same field. These are all bad anarthas which we have to face, but we will always justify as if it's an innocent calf. We will say, oh no, actually my intention was not like that. My intention was only to ask what happened. My intention was not to be rude. My intention was not to fight. My intention was not to get into the money. My intention was not to take on the position. Well, I just want to do it as service. I just want to assist. We can act as if it's a vatsa, but Harihi, Darshayan Baladevaya, Vikshe. Hari can see. We may be able to see our anarthas, we may not accept it, but Hari can see. So that Vatsasur mentality of deception, self-deception, and trying to act and cover our position as if we are an innocent calf. Always, all the time, do something behind the back, and always in public act as if I am very good. Look how much taste I have in chanting. Look how innocent I am. So this mentality of Vatsasur, like, it's there in the heart. So the another reason why Krishna performs these pastimes is because these narrations, they are non-different from Krishna, and when we hear them for all times to come. One Vatsasur came in Vrindavan 5,000 years ago, but when he was delivered, he went, but his mentality came and sat in our hearts. And it's 5,000 years from one life to another, that Vatsasur mentality of deception, that Vatsasur mentality of not taking feedback, that Vatsasur mentality of trying to cover our anarthas as if we are an innocent calf, of self-deception and public deception, of hypocrisy, that is still alive in our heart. So when Krishna performs this pastime, those narrations will enter the ear hole of the listener and uproot the Vatsasur-like mentality in the heart of those who still hold it. Also, one more reason why Krishna performs these Dushta Damana Leela pastimes, it is to show those who think Krishna, like the Michael Faraday example, he is just a gardener. For those who think Krishna is just a boy, पता नहीं इन्होंने ये इस्कॉन वालों ने बड़ा चढ़ाकर कोई बच्चे को, वृंदावन के कोई बच्चे को भगवान भगवान घोषित किया. अरे भगवान थोड़ी है, भगवान तो साईं बाबा हैं, भगवान तो ये बाबा हैं, भगवान तो वो बाबा हैं. ठीक है, जतो मत थतो पत, अलग अलग लोगों की अलग अलग धारणा है. डिफरेंट पीपल हैव देयर ओन माइंड सेट, बट शनै ही मुग्ध इव आसदत. Prakritau yatha. Shukdev Goswami makes it a point. So Krishna is performing these pastimes. So for those who think that all that Krishna can do is play the flute and run behind calves, God is also taking some time out to show his prowess and his power for the faithless. So, in this way, Vatsasur comes, he displays his intentions, and Krishna and Balaram, they make a whole mockery of his inner intentions. Instead of he going unnoticed, he is very well noticed. And not just that, Krishna deceives Vatsasur by acting as if he's a young child. Yayatham mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham. Vatsasur thinks that I can hide and not show my true nature to him. And Krishna is thinking, okay, then I will also hide and not show you your true nature, show you my true nature. I'm just a boy. Look, I'm just playing around. But then Krishna gets close to Vatsasur when Baladeva approves. He says, I think now it's the time. Go. And then what Krishna and Balaram do with Vatsasur, that you can read as homework. Very wonderful descriptions have been given in the next two verses. There are only two more verses in the chapter, and that section ends. But I don't want to bring in bloodshed between Krishna and Balaram's playing. Let Vatsasur just be a dream that Krishna and Balaram are having. Let Vatsasur just be a rumor that is spread. But let no demon come close to Krishna and Balaram. Let the two brothers, let the two sons of Nanda and Yashoda and Rohini Maya happily play in the forests of Vrindavan. Uh, all the superiors on the call, please lovingly bless these two brothers. May they have a long life. May no demons come close to them. May they eat as much as they want. May they keep dancing. May they keep singing. May their faces and bodies be always decorated, always anointed with the loving tears of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. And most importantly, may Krishna and Balaram never grow up. May they always keep playing of the same age. May Akrura never come. May Krishna and Balaram never even think in their wildest dreams of leaving Vrindavan and drowning the Vrajvasis in the water of separation. So I will pause here. If there are any questions or comments, I will be very, very happy to take them. And at the same time, please forgive me for going little overboard with the time. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol
Hare
Vancha
Hare.
Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Pattanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo.
Thank you very much, Amarendra Prabhuji. What a wonderful lecture. There is only one problem that I have, Prabhuji. Now that problem of hypocrisy which is in our heart, because you did not let Krishna and Balram kill Vatsasur, now that Vatsasur will remain in our heart as well. So please finish that. Maybe you can take some more time and please kill that hypocrisy demon in our heart as well. And that will be really,
Would that
really
be
good.
okay? Would you be able to give me another 15 minutes then?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay. I'm so happy. Srimad Bhagavatam, as soon as I close, Bhagavatam says open. So I'm very happy. Okay, we will continue. There are only two more verses. We finished up to 42. We will take 43, 44 and 45. Let's take three and then we will wrap it up. I am reminded that in Shastra so many times we hear that Krishna has his own plans, but then the Vaishnavas have their plan, and under the plan of the Vaishnavas, Krishna's plan becomes subordinate and the Vaishnava plan becomes prominent. So Krishna in my heart as Paramatma told me that you should pause, but the Vaishnava community has instructed to continue, and Tara Ichha Balavan. Their desire is stronger. In Aghasur Leela also, Krishna put his hand out and then he was trying to stop his friends from entering the mouth of Aghasur. His Ichha was Balavan, was strong. He wanted to stop, but the friends went between his hands and between the legs and they entered the mouth of Aghasur ultimately. So Krishna's desire was to stop them, but their desire was to enter. And Krishna teaches through that pastime also that he makes his plans, but then the plans of the Vaishnavas or the friends of Krishna are way more stronger. So I will move by the plan of the Vaishnavas and not by the plan of what I was instructed in the heart. We will continue with text 43. Yes. गृहीत्वा परपादाभ्यां सह लाङ्गोलम् अच्युतः भ्रामयित्वा कपित्ताग्रे प्राहिणोद्गतजीवितं स कपित्तैर्महाकाय पात्यमानैपपातः.
Thereafter, Sri Krishna caught the demon by the hind legs and tail, twirled the demon's whole body very strongly until the demon was dead, and threw him into the top of the Kapitta tree, which then fell down along with the body of the demon who had assumed a great form.
This is the verse which describes the killing. So we will see what is described here. Grihitva. So in Sanskrit we have this is called as twanta in Sanskrit. Twanta means twa anta. At the end you can see twa, grihitva, and then in the third line also brahmayitva. These words are used in Sanskrit. The context is when there are multiple verbs, multiple activities, then you use twa for the first word. Like for example, let's say we have to say, he read the book and drank milk, you know, or drinks milk. He reads the book. Having read the book, he drinks milk. Let's say something like that. So grantham pathitva, having read the book, dugdam pibati, he drinks the milk. Or let's say, after offering obeisances to the Lord, he goes to school. So devam natva, उनको नमन करके विद्यालयम गच्छति, he goes to the school. So you can see when there are two activities, one is to read the book, one is to drink milk. So the first one is twa, and then the second is described. So pathitva, having read the book, dugdam pibati, he drinks milk. Or devam natva, having offered obeisances to the Supreme Lord, vidyalayam gacchati, he goes to the school. So similarly here twa has been used, grihitva, grahanam, to accept, having captured, having accepted, and brahmayitva, having sold. Then what did Krishna do? He took prahinot gata jivitam, he threw him and took their life. So took his life, took Vatsasura's life. So the actual verb is killing, prahinot gata jivitam. So he killed Vatsasura, but that is the second verb. The activity that happened before is first he held, then he swirled. So having held, having swirled, then he killed. That is the reason why I was mentioning about the twanta in Sanskrit. Grihitva, brahmayitva. Grihitva means to accept. Brahmayitva means brahman karana, ghumana, swirl karana, to move something or someone. It could be a cloth in the air, or it could be a demon by the feet. So what did Krishna hold? Grihitva parapadabhyam. Grihitva parapadabhyam. So his Krishna holding, Srila Sanatana Goswami describes, it is not very clear whether he held with one hand or with two hands. That is not clear. But what is clear is that he held the legs. he held the legs. Apara padabhyam. And that too he held the hind legs. So purvam or para means the front legs. And apurva or apara means hind legs, back legs. So grihitva, having held what? Apara padabhyam, the back leg. So Krishna held and padabhyam means both legs. It has been used in the dual sense. So Krishna, whether he held with one hand and another hand was still free, or whether he held with both hands, that is not clear. But both hind legs of the calf were held. This is clear. And along with the hind legs, saha, apara padabhyam saha, along with the hind legs, langulam, even the tail was caught. So Krishna, let's say with two hands, held that when Vatsasura was coming close and Krishna went close to Vatsasura, Krishna with his two hands held the hind legs of Vatsasura along with the tail. along with the tail he held. So now is an interesting point. What does the tail represent here? What do the feet represent and what does the tail represent? It's very interesting. Why does Vatsasur show his back legs? Why not the front legs? Why did he show his back legs? So the mentality is everyone comes face off with their front legs. But I am Apurva. I am special. And Apurva in Sanskrit also means back legs. Purva means front legs. So everybody walks straight. Everybody approaches another person straight. But I am Apurva. Apurva has two meanings. One is unprecedented. मेरे जैसा पहले कोई नहीं रहा है. That mentality. But at the same time, Apurva also means back legs in Sanskrit. So there is a play here. That I am Apurva. I am unprecedented. But at the same time, because I'm Apurva, my way also should be Apurva. My way of approaching also should be special. Everyone approaches with para, Apurva or para, but I will approach with Apara or Apurva, back legs. So it's a pun in the word Apurva. Apurva means there is nobody like me, but Apurva also means back legs. So he approached with his back legs, and the tail represents show off mentality. A tail is given to a calf so that it can fan itself off all the bees and all the flies. So our senses are represented by the tail here. The tail is given so that we keep away the anartha like mentality. Our senses are given so that we keep away the distractions and only serve Krishna. This is the purpose of the tail like senses. The tail for Vatsasura is given for keeping the bees and the insects away. The senses for us are given for keeping the distractions away and only to serve Krishna. But here, instead of using the tail for the purpose that is given, he is showing the tail to Krishna to see how good my tail is, to show off with one's abilities and skills. So when that mentality is there, then what happens? Then Krishna holds those skills. He holds it with himself. He doesn't give it to the conditioned soul. When Krishna held the feet and the the tail of the calf, he could not move his tail anymore, which means when we use the tail that is given to us, our senses, our abilities, our talents, our skill set, it is meant to ward off the fly like anarthas and distractions and only focus on the path. But when we use that to show off, to show how our position is better than others, then Krishna holds on to it. Two meanings. Krishna holds, but Krishna also holds on to it. He doesn't share those talents with us anymore. And no more empowerment is there. When we are ready to become empty vessels, that's when Krishna has place to fill in his Shakti. But when we are full in ourselves, where will Krishna give his Shakti? We are moving on the fuel of our past karmic activities, pious, whatever we have gained from past life. On that fuel, the car is moving. But then it will run out of fuel very soon if we don't depend on the higher power of Krishna's empowerment. So here, grihitva parapadabhyam, by holding onto the feet of the calf, and not just that, saha langulam, along with the tail, who held achyutaha. Now here the word used is achyutaha. He who never falls from his position is called achyuta. Na chutaha iti achyutaha. Chuta means to fall. Just like the demigods, after their reign, their rule is done, then they return. A brahma bhuvanaloka punar avartino arjuna mamupaityata kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. But Krishna never gets replaced, toppled off his position. Therefore, he is called achyuta. So why he is called achyuta here? There must be a specific reason why. So our acharyas describe achyuta means he who never moves from his position. So it's very interesting. When Krishna held the feet of Vatsasur along with the tail and he decided to lift the calf, it was not at all strenuous for Krishna. Aisa nahi hua. This didn't happen that Krishna held the tail and Krishna held the feet and then, because of that movement, he moved even a step from his position. He didn't move even a step. He held very comfortably the feet and the tail, and Brahmayitva. He started twirling and swirling him up in the air. So in this strenuous process, Krishna na chutaha iti. He did not, that force did not push him away even by one step. So he who did not move from his position is called Chuta here. So very interesting. There is a Aishwaryamai conception that he is God, but at the same time, there is a sweet interpretation that this is because of he did not even move an inch from his position while throwing that big asur. And where did he throw him? Brahmayitva, after soling him and twirling him, where did he throw him? Kapitta agre. We know Hanuman likes the kapitta fruit. Hmm? This has been described in the Ramayana that Hanumanji, when he destroyed the Ashok Vatika, his eyes were on the kapitta fruit. So kapitta agre. Agre means on the top, or it could be in front, but here on the top. So Brahmayitva, having held the feet and the tail of the calf, twirling and swirling him up in the air, finally Kapitta Agre, Krishna threw the calf on top of the Kapitta tree. And it's very interesting why he threw on top. Because the friends till then were telling Krishna that we want to taste the kapitta fruit. Just like we know in Dhenukasur Leela, the friends say that we want to eat the tal phala, the tala fruit from the tala briksha in Talvan. And that's how they went there in the first place. So similarly here, Krishna wanted the friends to get the fruit that they have been asking for. So Brahmayitva Kapitagre, Krishna strikes multiple fruits at the same time. Or let's like this saying goes, to hit multiple birds with the same stone, but Krishna hits multiple fruits with the same demon. So one, he throws the demon up to kill him. Second, by he hitting the tree, the fruits will fall for the friends. But at the same time, Krishna is teaching something very interesting. Prahinot gata jivitam. He is not just killing the demon, he is uplifting him. That calf who was used to being on the floor, Krishna held him by the feet. Who should hold whose feet? Who should hold whose feet? The demon should hold Krishna's feet. But the demon is not even considering his liberation. He is trying to kill Krishna. Look at Vatsasura's mentality. I am on the floor. I am stronger. Instead of me falling at Krishna's feet and begging for forgiveness, I will kill him. He is not as strong as I am. This is the mentality with which he comes to Vrindavan. And look at Krishna. He wants to deliver Vatsasur 1,000,000 times more than Vatsasur wants to deliver himself. Vatsasura is on the floor. Instead of he holding Krishna's feet, Krishna is holding Vatsasur's feet, shaking him off all the anarthas. Just like, when there is a person who is dirty, you have to shake off all the dirt. Or if, let's say, there is water in somebody's body because of being in the swimming pool for a long time, you have to shake that person off to take all that water so that he comes back to life. He's unconscious, he is passed out. So you try to take all that water out. Brahmayitva. So Krishna is holding the feet of a demon that I want to deliver you faster and quicker than you yourself want to deliver yourself. We desire to go to Krishna with ulterior agendas, but Krishna desires to get us close to him with spotless intentions. And he wants to do it faster. Faster than we want to go to Krishna, Krishna wants us to him. And for that, look, Krishna is ready to even hold the feet of a demon, shake him off of all the anarthas, and Kapitagre, and give him a higher destination. He was on the floor, but Krishna has put him on top of the trees of Vrindavan. The position that even sadhus by bhajan cannot get, to sit on top of a tree in Vrindavan. They can probably sit in a cave in Kashi, Varanasi, or somewhere else, or in the Himalayas, Dronagiri. But they cannot sit on top of a Kalpavriksha tree in Vrindavan. But Krishna is holding the feet of a demon, shaking him off all the anarthas, and prahinot gata jivitam. And he is liberating him on top and placing him on top of a tree. And at that time, what happens? स कपित्तैः महाकायः पात्यमानै पपातः. When that happened, महाकायः bhavati, which means as soon as Vatsasura was thrown on top of the tree, Mahakaya, he assumed his original form, that big demoniac form. Isn't this so wonderful that we, with all our anarthas, we try to hide those anarthas with hypocrisy and try to be in the association of devotees with our ulterior agendas and try acting as if we are innocent calves. Instead of holding Krishna's feet, Krishna's sending Guru Tattva and asking, do you recognize this jiva? Do you want to uplift this jiva? And Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev. We like Vatsasur are Brahmita. We are moving from one Mathura to another Vrindavan to Mathura. We have been moving as Pramila to the ashram of Vashishta Muni, which means we have moved so many places. Urdom gachanti sattvastva, madhye tishtati rajasa, jaganya gunavrittistha, adho gachanti tamasa. But now Krishna Balaram, Guru and Krishna, they team up to uplift us. And through circumstances, Krishna can sometimes even hold on to our tail, which means he can stun us by taking our empowerment, taking our opportunities away. And Brahmayitva, through circumstances, he shakes all the anarthas out. And Mahakaya, by liberating us and giving us a higher position, just like Vatsasur lost his temporary position and got the previous position that he was trying to hide. Similarly, the living being, we also have our eternal form, our Swarupa in the spiritual world. And Krishna, by uplifting us, Mahakaya, he gives us our eternal big form, spiritual form that we have forgotten at this point. And at this point, we are walking around as innocent calves in this world. Although the demon inside is trying to hide as an innocent calf. But as soon as we approach Krishna, Krishna uplifts us by throwing us on top of trees of circumstances and by liberating us from all of our anarthas and Mahakaya. He gives us our original form. This is so wonderful. And as this is very interesting. As Vatsasur hit the tree, all the fruits fell, and it gave pleasure to the friends. Which means when one conditioned soul is uplifted and given his eternal form by the Supreme Lord, how many Vaishnavas are happy to see this upliftment? Vaishnavas are only seeing and only living to see the upliftment of everyone else around. So this is a very beautiful point. Also, we can at this point see the comparison that when Maya Brahmayitva, when Maya takes us and tolls us and souls us, and when Krishna tolls and souls us, what is the difference? Maya takes us and moves us from one body to another, and she's been doing it for a long, long time. Labdhva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante. Bahunam janmanam ante. So many lives have gone. Maya is actually moving, Brahmayitva, tolling and souling the conditioned soul from one body to another. And what does she do? She doesn't uplift us. So first of all, she is also swelling and it gives us dukkha. Second, it doesn't uplift, it only degrades our consciousness. And third, it goes on for a long, long time, so many lifetimes. And Krishna, when he does it, he tolls and swirls and uplifts, and he does it very quickly. See, the description is only in one line. Brahmayitva kapitagre prahinodgata jivitam. Finished. There is no ghastly description beyond that. There was blood here, there, and then Vatsasura came back, and then Krishna did this. Nothing. Very quickly, in one line, Krishna has delivered. So, if we anyway have to be told, why not we be told by Krishna and get uplifted and get our Mahakaya, our supremely spiritual form, and get it done quickly, than to be sold by material nature or Maya Shakti. Text 44. Tam vikshya vismita balaha shashamsuhu sadhu sadviti devascha parisantuштha bhabuvu pushpavarshinaha.
Upon seeing the dead body of the demon, all the cowherd boys exclaimed, "Well done, Krishna! Very good, thank you." In the upper planetary system, all the demigods were pleased, and therefore they showered flowers on the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Very interesting. The demigods are there ready with their airplanes. Probably they would have got flowers beforehand only. Or maybe just by their thought they would have got flowers. So tam vikshya, looking at this, vismitaha balaha, all the friends, they were shocked. So what are the different reasons for the shock? The reason for the shock is, wait a minute, this calf is actually a demon? How did you recognize? How is it possible? How did we not recognize this? That is the astonishment. Or the astonishment is, how strong are you? How can you lift a whole calf with its tail, with its legs, and throw it on top of the tree? That is another shock. The third shock is, after it has been thrown, look, the calf lost its body and it has become so big. Oh. That is the third shock. And the fourth shock is, wait a minute, where are the flowers coming from? Because the demigods, Devaha cha parisantushtaha. The demigods became very happy that Vatsasura has been killed, and Babhuhu Pushpa Varshinaha. They were actually offering flowers. The demigods were offering flowers from the upper planetary system. So that was the fourth amazement. The Balaha Vismitaha Santi. They are all very astonished that where are the flowers coming from? In fact, in the uh, in the work of Melpattur Narayana Bhattadri, called as the Narayaniam, in this pastime it has been described that the friends came to Krishna and tam viksha vismita balaha shashamsuhu sadhu sadhu iti. They looked at the tree and the flowers falling from the tree, and they were asking Krishna in amazement, wait a minute, where are the flowers coming from? And Krishna looked at the friends and he said, actually, these flowers are there in the tree. And because the demon has hit the tree is giving all the flowers. I think the tab has been changed, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you. So the friends were asking Krishna, where is all the flowers coming from? Actually, the demigods were Devaha, the Devataha, they are offering the flowers. But the friends could not see the demigods. They could not, because they have spontaneous affection for Krishna. So they could not see where the flowers are coming from. They asked Krishna, you threw that demon like 2 hours ago, but the flowers are still falling. Where are the flowers coming from? Because they couldn't see the demigods, and Krishna's seeing the demigods, but he's thinking, what do I tell the friends? If I tell my friends the demigods are offering flowers to me, they will not believe it. You are stealing butter with us, and now you think the demigods headed by Indra are going to offer flowers? No, this is impossible. It's not possible. So where are all the flowers coming from? So Krishna is saying, actually, these flowers are there in these trees. And the Kapita tree was filled with fruits, but it was not filled with multicolored flowers that were coming down. But the friends are so innocent. Krishna said it's coming from these trees. Because the demon was thrown on top, the tree first gave its fruits and now it's giving its flowers. So the friends are so amazed. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So nice, so good, so good. And they're talking to each other, this is where the flowers are coming from. First the tree gave its fruit, now it's giving its flowers. So amazing, isn't it? And Krishna is laughing that his friends are believing every single thing that he's saying. But isn't that also the nature of pure Vaishnavas? The nature of pure Vaishnavas is they believe everything that Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. If Krishna says the flowers are falling from this tree, means they will fall from this tree. And only those who believe like that, they end up becoming the friends of Krishna. And the demigods are saying sadhu, sadhu, and the friends are also saying sadhu, sadhu, which means very good, very good. And one commentator writes that the demigods were remembering the pratigya, the promise that Krishna gave, that paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, that I will come to protect the devotees, to destroy the demons, and to keep dharmic principles intact. So demigods remembered that Krishna will come and do that. Garbhastuti was done when Krishna entered the heart of Devaki, and now Krishna is killing Vatsasura and proving that point. So sadhu, sadhu iti. The fact that Krishna kept his word, because of this, the demigods are saying, wonderful Krishna, beautiful, wonderful. So this is so amazing that Krishna uses the Krishna can use anything for anything. He used the body of Putana even after Putana was liberated as a bridge for the Vrajvasis to walk across. And after Aghasura was killed, Krishna used his mouth as a cave to play for his friends for a long time. And now he's using the body of Vatsasura to get the fruits for his friends. So this is so beautiful. And then this wraps up the pastime of Vatsasur in the Bhagavatam. After this, Shukdev Goswami says that Krishna and Balaram's appetite increased, and then they ate the prasad that was packed up by Yashoda Rani and Rohini Devi. Very soon after that, the story of Bakasura begins. So these are some take-homes that we can learn from the sweet, wonderful pastime of um, Krishna protecting his friends and at the same time uplifting uh, the demon. So Shishthanam Manohari and Dushtanam Pranahari iti. So thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for completing that pastime. We are very satisfied now. Thank you. There are
I'm
already
really sorry I took so much of your time, but I think I just felt inspired to continue by your instructions. So that actually wraps up the description of Vatsasur and his departure. Um, in the future, if Krishna inspires, then um, if uh, if I get more time, I will try to share more things.
Yes, Prabhu, definitely. We'll be looking forward to hear from you. As well as when you are speaking, the time generally stops. We don't realize that the time is going very fast or anything. We just think that, oh, it is just 15 minutes has happened, even if you're speaking for 1-2 hours. So it wouldn't matter. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for coming and enlightening us. So there are a few questions. Few hands have gone up, 4 hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a chance to someone who hasn't yet asked questions. So Prakriti Mataji, if you have a question, you have raised your hand. If you can, just a minute, I'll enable the unmuting option. Yeah, you will be able to unmute yourself now. You can ask questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandra Pranam. Thank you for your enlivening lecture. My question is that you said that like Vatsasur, he obtained his demoniac form as soon as he was killed by Lord Krishna, and you said that that's how we are, like we are very innocent and very good in the temple, but then at home, like we all are like really bad. So basically,
All of us are not you. We
no,
are.
no, I am also Prabhuji. So basically, like when we do that, and in Melbourne, you gave a lecture of Krishna Leela, and you said that like how if it's what is in, that's what comes out. So how is it possible that when we are really bad inside, then in the temple something really good comes out?
What is in will come out when squeezed, not otherwise. If a
Okay.
mango has mango juice, it will not come out just like that. When you squeeze the mango, that's when the mango juice, what is in, will come out. Orange juice is inside the orange only when squeezed, that's when the inside juice comes out. So, till the time life doesn't throw squeezing, pressing, agitating, irritating, provoking situations to squeeze the fruit of our consciousness, only then what is in will come out. Till then, although we are an apple, we can act as if we are a mango. But only when we are squeezed, we will understand that it is not amras, but it is actually apple milkshake.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
A wonderful question and a wonderful answer. Thank you, Prabhuji, and thank you, Prakriti Mata. Okay, as Sudharma Mataji or Sudharma Prabhu, your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. Thanks again for a nice lecture. Prabhuji, my question is, you said like the Goloka pastimes is continuously happening in Goloka. So all the pastimes, like the killing of demons, also happens. That was my understanding. But you said the demons were never killed in Goloka.
Because
So
the demons don't exist in Goloka Vrindavan. नेहा विक्रमनाशोस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते mahato bhayat. Krishna remembers our activities from one life to another in this world, and we get a chance to move on and get purified of our demoniac mentalities here. But in that world, न तद् भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावक यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धमं paramam mama. There are no demons. However, in the spiritual world, there's only a fear of demons. There's only a scare. There's only a rumor. Like Mother Yashoda will tell Krishna, if you go into the forest and you don't come home on time, there is one man. His name is Hao Bilau. He will go into the forest with a gunny sack and he kidnaps all the babies in the gunny sack, and he takes them away. Krishna says, no, that's not true. And then Mother Yashoda kept two big stones called Hao and Bilau. And she will say, this is how he looks. And Mother Yashoda, and then Krishna gets scared. Actually, he doesn't exist, but just a rumor, just a scare is there in the spiritual world. But however, what is there in the heart of the eternal associates cannot be perceived by a conditioned soul. Therefore, what Krishna does is all the thoughts of Goloka Vrindavan get exhibited and displayed in this world. Like, for example, Mother Yashoda has fear that nothing should happen to Krishna. No demon should come. Demon should not come as a cow. Demon should not come as a calf. Demon should not come as a bull. You know, a demon should not come in the form of a snake. What if there is a demon who comes in the form of a snake and opens his mouth and shows as if it's a cave, and Krishna thinks it's a plaything? It doesn't happen in Goloka Vrindavan. But Krishna brings that pastime in this world as Agasur to show this is how much my mother loves me. This is what happens in her heart, so that we all can understand. Similarly, Radharani, always in her heart, she has a Mangalashanka. It is called as Bhavi Viraha. In the Bhav, she has Viraha. What if Krishna leaves me? What if Krishna leaves a village like Vrindavan, getting attracted to a city? What if Krishna goes and, let's say in the future, he becomes a king and he has multiple marriages? No, that is not possible. But what if he has a queen, who's very beautiful? No, that's not gonna happen. What if he has multiple? No, that's not gonna happen. So in Goloka Vrindavan, it never happens. There's no Gaman and Agaman. It's not that in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna leaves Vrindavan and goes to Mathura, then leaves Mathura and goes to Dwaraka. In the spiritual world, Krishna is always in Vrindavan. Krishna in Mathura is always in Mathura. Krishna in Dwaraka is always in Dwaraka. There's no Gaman and Agaman of one Krishna moving through different dhams. But that happens in this world. So the rumor or the fear in the heart of an eternal associate gets represented in this world. This is why Krishna comes and displays the pastime of leaving Vrindavan to go to Mathura, then becoming a king in Dwaraka. All of this to actually to exhibit and to very loudly proclaim, this is what happens in the heart of Srimati Radhika. This is how much affection she has for me. In the spiritual world, she's always fearing that I will leave her. And what if I become a king? And what if I get married to multiple queens? And what if after 100 years she meets me? It never happens in Goloka Vrindavan. But what's happening in her heart will always remain in her heart. No one will be able to understand except Krishna. So Krishna shows that glory. The devotee tries to hide his feelings or her feelings, but Krishna puts it out in the world for everyone to see. This is the heart. So just like there is no separation in the spiritual world, the separation is in the material world of Krishna leaving Vrindavan, only to show the outside Vrindavan Leelas are only to show the purity of Srimati Radhika's heart. So similarly, the demons in this world are only to show the protective, possessive mamata in the heart of Mother Yashoda in the spiritual world. So they don't exist there, they only exist in the mind. But here they actually take a form and they come.
So can we say like Krishna will be more enjoying the rasas in the material world, Prabhuji, more? Because
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. So Krishna comes for his Swanta Sukh also, and he comes for Paropakar also. This has been described that Krishna gets Veerras in the spiritual world fighting with his friends, but ultimately they are his friends. So the fighting is not very powerful. But when he sends his associates in this world as big demons, and then when he comes as Nrsingadev and fights Hiranyakashipu, the rasa is way higher. So Krishna enjoys many things in this world, like killing of demons, and even his Janmashtami Leela, his appearance Leela. That doesn't take place in Goloka Vrindavan. It's not that yesterday Krishna was not there and today Nanda ke Ananda Bhayo Jai Kanhaiya Lal ki. It doesn't happen there in Goloka Vrindavan, but it happens in Bhuloka Vrindavan. So Krishna enjoys more here. Even devotees enjoy more here, because in the spiritual world we cannot extend Krishna consciousness in preaching to other conditioned souls, because everyone is a liberated soul. There you quote Bhagavad Gita, the person ahead will quote Bhagavatam. So there is no para dukkha dukhi, because there is no dukkha. So this is why devotees say Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware Bhavatar Bhakti Rahaitu Kitvai. So this material world, although it is dukkhalayam, it is part of Krishna's Srishti Leela. So there must be a purpose to it. And the purpose is it brings joy to his heart also in uplifting conditioned souls, because he's Karuna Sindhu. And we also like to practice bhakti, go through the struggle of anartha nivritti, really go through that struggle of controlling the senses and proving Krishna our sincerity, whatever little that is. So yes, for Krishna also and for the devotees also.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I know that it is already 9:46 here, and you would have also taken like your morning schedule is now a little bit gone here and there because of this lecture. But there are two more questions. Do you want to take them? Do you still have time?
Sure. I have, Prabhuji, but if it is getting late on
No,
your
no.
end,
As long as you have time,
yeah,
we can
no
take those
problem.
questions.
No problem.
Okay. Bharadwajashi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Excellent lecture again, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Really appreciate so many insights. Thank you very much.
Whatever you are
Prabhuji, my
hearing,
question
Prabhuji,
is,
whatever
sorry?
you're hearing, actually, they are only the echoing coming from the lips of my Guru Maharaj. They are the original sound is his, and the echoing is coming from here. So just like we heard it from the well, it was coming because Krishna was yelling into the well, but Krishna was showing as if it was coming from the well. He was not agreeing that he was the one who actually shouted into the well. So similarly, what we are all seeing is that we are all given the service of speaking and listening, but that is only the pratidhvani. The dhvani is actually coming from our Gurujan. So all of us are blessed with this opportunity to be in the parampara, hear, read, listen from Vaishnavas, and then what comes out is what has been fed through the 2 years is what comes through the lips. So it is actually it is their gift. So whatever you are saying, Prabhuji, wholeheartedly I offer it at the lotus feet of my Guru Maharaj, from whom I heard this Vatsasura Leela and my perspective on this pastime, which previously I thought, क्या है एक बछड़ा तो आता है उसमें क्या है इतनी बड़ी बात. But then when I started dwelling into the subject matter and I heard our superiors, then I felt very inspired. So I will pass on your words in my heart through them or to them.
And Prabhuji, and also the way you take each word and actually analytically explain the inner meaning, that's really touched. And we'll never look at the Sanskrit verses the same way again, Prabhuji. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And Prabhuji, my question is same as Sudharma Mataji's question, a little bit extension on that. So in Goloka, the pastimes are eternally happening. So they keep on happening. So what does it mean? Does it mean that Krishna is actually going through the same pastimes every day? And then also the pastimes are happening at multiple places as well, right? Like, like Ashoda Mata is happening, one pastime may be happening. And then, friends, another pastime is simultaneously happening. So wouldn't Krishna get bored of like so many pastimes happening at the same time, like so many times?
In a book called as Bhagavatamrita Kana by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he has explained very beautifully that just like there are multiple Vaikuntha planets, one Vaikuntha planet only for Varahadev, one Vaikuntha planet only for Nashingadev, one Vaikuntha planet for Lakshmi Narayan, one Vaikuntha planet for Matsya, etc. Even in the front cover of our Bhagavatam book, we can see the multiple Vaikuntha planets with different Vaikuntha expansions. So if Vaikuntha planets can be multiple, Vaikuntha Janita Vara Madhupuri Tatra Pirasotsavat. So then what to speak of Goloka Vrindavan? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad has said something phenomenally beautiful. He says that there are countless innumerable Goloka Vrindavans. And in each of these Goloka Vrindavans, Krishna is of a different age. So one place he's 1 years old, another place he's 2 years old, third place he's 3 years old, fourth place he's 4 years old, fifth place he's 5 years old, then sixth, then seventh, then eighth, then nine, like that. And depending on the bhav of the devotee, they go into that prakosht or that manifestation, that realm of Goloka Vrindavan. It's not like we can have any mood and everyone just ends up being in the same room in Goloka Vrindavan. It doesn't happen like that. Let's say there are those in their sthai bhav, their eternal bhav is that of Vatsalya Rati. But it is when Krishna is 6 months old, then they will get into that prakosht, where they want to see Krishna, let's say, being breastfed, or Krishna being bathed, or Krishna crawling, etc. In contrast to, let's say, Krishna being 5 years old, where the details of the reciprocation in Vatsalya Prem will be different. He will not be breastfed then. He may not even be bathed there, or he may bathe on his own. So details may vary, but only the kajal may be applied by the mother, or the hair may be made by the mother. So depending on what inclination one has eternally, that is where one gets into. Now here's an interesting thing. When Krishna comes in this world, the Krishna from that planet where he's 1 year old, he comes.
Okay.
And he performs his pastime for 1 year, and he goes back into that abode, and the 2-year-old Krishna comes in. And then he performs his pastime for a year, and he goes back, and the 3-year-old Krishna comes in. So when he performs his pastime here, it seems as if he's under the influence of time. But if someone is under the influence of time, they cannot be Bhagavan. Right? But how is it that he's under the influence of time? Because he's growing up, but he's not under the influence of time, because different manifestations of Krishna are coming, and they're happening so beautifully by the cover of Yoga Maya that it seems as if one Krishna is growing up. Although it's one Krishna, but it's manifestation from different prakosht, from different rooms of Goloka Vrindavan. Now, having said that, another important point is our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they come from a point, that aspect of Goloka Vrindavan where Radha and Krishna are performing sweet pastimes. So Krishna there is 15 years old in that expansion and manifestation. So when we are asked this question, what is Krishna's eternal age? All our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they say Krishna is 15 years old and Radharani is 14 years old, etc. But having said that, then what are those in Vatsalya Rati going to do? Like, won't they have a chance to have baby Krishna and Balaram sit on their lap and feed them and bathe them, etc., and put them to sleep? Yes. So they go into a different realm altogether. So the reason we are mentioning this is because Krishna is enjoying simultaneously different reciprocative pastimes with different devotees in different rati, tasting different rasas in different prakoshtas of Goloka Vrindavan at the same time. So this is one thing. Now, as far as each of these planets are concerned, yes, there is a repetition. He bathes every day. He takes care of the cows. That is if he's over 6 years old. But if he's less than 6 years old, the Ashtakalya Leela are different. The eightfold pastimes are different. But when he's with Srimati Radharani, they are different. The main themes may be the same, that he has to wake up, have his breakfast, tend the cows, and meet Radharani at Radhakund, etc., etc. But the individual details under the banner of daily pastimes, we say from this time to this time he will be doing this time to this time. Well, that could be constant, just like every day we are having the job that we have to attend, or we have to cook, or we have to bathe, etc. But the inner details between those wider banners are different. So if it's different here, what to speak of Goloka Vrindavan? There is no boredom. Boredom is because of Rajogun and Tamogun, which don't exist in Goloka Vrindavan. In fact, mind only doesn't exist. In the material mind doesn't exist. So there is no question of boredom. Looking at Krishna, our love in the heart increases. And when the love increases, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, our vision of him becomes sweeter. And by then, actually, his beauty has increased. And when his beauty increases, our love increases. When our love increases, our vision increases, betters. When our vision betters, we see more beauty. But by then, actually, his beauty has also increased. So in a cyclic way, there is a constant competition of who is going to surrender to whom. The devotee surrendering to Krishna, or Bhaktai Bhakta Janapriya, or Krishna surrendering to the devotee. So there is no boredom. And as far as, so we mentioned about macroscopic and microscopic analysis of Krishna's pastimes in the spiritual world.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Kirtivanta Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanwad Pranams. Yeah, Prabhuji, your classes are a wealth of knowledge, and thank you very much for taking the extra time to finish the chapter and enlightening us.
Thank you to Ambarish Maharaj Prabhu.
Prabhuji, yeah, just a comment and a question. I guess it's quite interesting how in the material world currently, we've got the Olympic Games and the Paralympic Games and things like that going on, and we can see through this chapter that Krishna is having his own Olympic Games by playing football with his friends and doing the hammer throw by grabbing the tail of the demon and throwing him around as well. So
Yes.
if anyone, devotees know, everything comes from Krishna, but this is Shastric proof that Krishna invented these games as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
My question, Prabhuji, is at the beginning, you mentioned that living entities in Krishna, we are qualitatively the same, quantitatively different. But Balaram and Krishna, Balaram is quantitatively the same and qualitatively different. Now, how can we understand that then as living entities, if we are qualitatively the same as Krishna, but Balaram isn't, who's Adi Guru, that I guess how do we understand that the living entities can be qualitatively higher than our Adi Guru Balaram? And things like that.
The context is the context of what is quality here and what is quality there is totally different. Like, for example, you can say the word hair, but it could refer to this hair also, and it could refer to a rabbit also, right? So the words, depending on context, they have different meanings. So qualitatively, with respect to the living entity, it refers to Satchit Ananda. That's it. As far as our existence, eternity of time, our knowledge acquiring potency, and our happiness potency. But now with respect to Krishna and Balaram, eka hi swarupa dohe bhinna matra kaye, adi kaya vyuha Krishna lila rasahai. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes very beautifully that he is only manifesting as the first expansion coming from Krishna. So they are actually the same. There is no difference. As eternal is Krishna, so eternal is the living entity. As knowledgeable as Krishna, the living entity, when becomes a devotee, he becomes more knowledgeable because he has Bhakti Tattva also. And as far as happiness is concerned, both are diving into the same happiness of Prem Tattva. So that is the quality word usage for the living entity and for Krishna. But for Krishna and Balaram, it refers to their 64 transcendental qualities. So in them, which we have no competition in, qualitatively they are one. Krishna does everything and Balaram does everything. Krishna has his Rasalila, Balaram has his Rasalila. Krishna plays the flute, Balaram has his flute. Krishna has Rupa Madhuri, Balaram has Rupa Madhuri. Krishna has Venu Madhuri, Balaram has Venu Madhuri. So the context of the qualitative oneness is with respect to their qualities, their 64 transcendental qualities, as far as the quantity is concerned. And the qualitative understanding is how good they are. So they, quantity-wise, unlimited, both are playing the flute. But quality-wise, Krishna plays it for Srimati Radhika, Balaram may play it for some gopis. So then there is some difference there. But so the word quality and quantity there, and the word quality and quantity here, is a different ball game altogether. The words may be same in English because Sanskrit is a rich language. They may have richer word usages, but in English we still say quality and quantity. So this is with respect to identity, and that is with respect to the display of their facets.
Thank you for your clarification, Prabhuji.
Very wonderful answer, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. I think we have finished all the questions here. So thank you very much once again for coming 2 days here and enlightening us with this wonderful pastime of Vatsasura. Just for the benefit of everyone, we are continuing this Sravan Utsav tomorrow as well and the next week as well. And there are very other senior devotees as well who are lined up. Tomorrow we have Kanai Thakur Prabhuji from ISKCON Pune, another wonderful devotee. So please come back again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And before we finish, please chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and show our appreciation for Amarendra Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much everyone for kindly participating. Thank you Ambarish Maharaj Prabhu and Nanga Manjari Mataji for this opportunity. Again, I offer my obeisances to each one of you. I offer my obeisances to Ambarish Prabhu and Mataji. I offer my obeisances to all the speakers. And I walk off with one question from my side. or more than a question, it's a request. I hope all of you will pray for me, because it's very easy to sit and speak these verses, but it is very difficult to overcome that inner anartha. It may take so many lifetimes even from now. So all of you, if you pray, Tara Ichha Bhalavan, then by the power of your prayers, it is possible that the calf which was delivered in the pages of the Bhagavatam may also be delivered from my heart. Thank you so much.
His Grace Amarendra Prabhu ki
Koti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila
Prabhupada ki
ISKCON Guru
jai.
Bhakta ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai. Gaur Bhakta.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.